Welcome back, gamers, to another episode of the Slow Run Cast. I am your host, the Iraqi Balboa, joined as always by my friend, hardworking outdoorsman, Durwin Luke, or as I prefer to call him. I should have probably rehearsed this ahead of time. I was gonna some play on the Gardenator.
Dude, I'm not meant for hard labor, let me tell you.
Why not, man? I always feel like every time I call you, you're doing hard labor.
Dude, not by choice. It's the brokenness in me. Don't want to pay someone to do it, so you got to do it yourself.
What were you doing? You're doing some yard work today?
Yeah, we're just doing some. We were doing some big weed removal so that we can figure out our garage situation. So, really annoying. Like I said, not meant for hard labor.
No,
Let's get
you're
injured.
always doing it. You're always doing it all
Get
the
tired.
time. Every time I call you. Well, we got a special week for the listeners this week. It is May 25th, 2025. 10 days before the Switch 2 comes out. What is it, like 11 days before the Summer Games Fest? 5 days before Elden Ring Night Rain comes out. The both of us have just rolled credits on Cleric Obscure Expedition 33. I beat it on Friday night, and you beat it last night, right?
Yes, last night.
Yeah.
I pushed through.
Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about, and we decided we will do a spoiler cast for Clear Obscure Expedition 33. So instead of doing our regular episode where we do our news and then, talk about what we're playing and then maybe do a little fun special segment at the end, we're going to solely talk about the news for this episode here, and we will drop a separate episode of Claire Obscure spoiler cast. So it'll be spoiler filled. Don't listen to it if you want to know what the story's about. But we thought it would be better to format it that way. So, people who just want to tune in for the news could tune in for the news, and people who just want to tune in for Claire Obscure talk could do that. So this will be the news one, but we will drop we'll record right after this and talk about our final thoughts.
Yeah.
Claire Obscure Expedition 33 and spoilers. It's a goatee for sure.
Yeah. Definitely like mind blown.
Yeah.
The twists are so good.
Insane.
Yeah, you gotta take a listen or give it a play if you are super interested. I'm just super excited to talk about it, so we gotta power through this news.
Oh yeah, we gotta get through this brutal stuff just to talk about all the fun stuff. But so we'll get right into it now. Kind of a slower news week for sure, but we got some interesting stories, and we'll start off with rumors that Naughty Dog is actually working on another unannounced game, aside from I can't remember that game's name, Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophecy or something like that.
Yeah, the Heretic Prophet or something.
Yeah. So there are reports that they're working on a secret game. I am reading conflicting reports on the internet. Some people are saying it's Neil Druckmann who's working on this second project, along with Intergalactic. It's unclear if that is the case, because I am seeing other articles that say it's not Neil Druckmann who's heading this game. It's the guy that worked on Lost Legacy, Uncharted Lost Legacy, as like a spin-off entry. So I can't remember that fella's name though. Anyway, so not 100% confirmed. Word on the street is it's not Last of Us 3, if you're expecting that. No news if it's another Uncharted game, but I also wouldn't expect it to be an Uncharted game just based on some previous interviews and things said by Neil Druckmann about how they've kind of put a pause on Uncharted right now and they're not really actively working on it. So we don't know. It might be a new IP. I doubt it's going to be a Jack and Daxter if you're kind of holding on to that, or if you're unaware, it wouldn't be a Crash because they don't own that IP anymore. So yeah, I don't know. Exciting news, but I'm not sure if I wonder if it's just they're working on another remaster for Last of Us.
Jesus. Or no, maybe they're working on a remaster of the original Uncharted. That would be kind of a bit a welcome story, I think.
Remaster of the original Uncharted? Yeah, I don't know. I guess they remastered all three of those for PS4 when
Yeah,
the
Lost
early days,
Legacy, or sorry,
or
the Nathan Drake collection is what.
Nathan Drake collection. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised honestly with their track record. I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to bring those three games up to kind of
PS5
Uncharted
standards.
4 snuff. Yeah,
I would pay
it's
money for that.
they're the only three games since the PS3 era that they have not brought to PS5. Because you think about it, Uncharted 4, Uncharted Lost Legacy, Last of Us Part 1, of course, Last of Us Part 2, they all run now natively on PS5. It is just the three original Uncharted games. And I guess like the PSP Golden Abyss or what have you. I don't know. Um, don't know much more about that for now, but we'll stay tuned. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's kind of I can't imagine this is really far ahead considering how recently Last of Us Online got canceled.
hmm Yeah, and I really doubt it's a new IP since they're already working on new IP, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine it being anything else besides, like you said, a remaster, which originally I did not think about. But new IP is the only thing that really seems to make sense. Otherwise,
hmm
I don't know. Anyway, uh, moving along and sticking with Sony, Sony has confirmed that it is ending its PlayStation Stars loyalty program, and players will be able to use the service until late next year. But after that, it will be shutting down as of November 2nd, 2026.
That includes like the collectible kind of like trophies, right? They were like almost
Do
like
you,
NFTs.
do you know what this thing is, right? I bet you most PlayStation users don't know what PlayStation Stars is.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know
I
what
thought it
PlayStation
was
Stars is?
like you got stars for like completing
Yeah.
certain like tasks, like some games that would be coming out. If you purchased it and bought it, you'd get stars and so on and so forth, and you can use it for like benefit, like what is it? It's basically like cashback almost, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're more or less correct. It's a thing that they integrated as part of the PlayStation app. You actually can't access it on your PS5 itself. You can only access it on the PS app. Like if you were to go on, for the viewers, if you go click on your name on the PS app and you go down, it has a PlayStation Stars right there. It was kind of like it almost felt like their NFT thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
When everybody was talking about NFTs, this got started in late 2022. So after the NFT conversation kind of kicked off in 2022, um, and yeah, you basically do these campaigns where they tell you to do specific things. Like right now, they have 58 days left to Dragon Age the Veilguard trophy hunt. Earn the Part 7 Fire, Feather, and Fade trophy. 3 days for Blueprints launch celebration. Play Blueprints on PS5 to get your digital collectible. God of War 20th anniversary. There's a Monster Hunter one. Some of them are just like challenges. Some of them just tell you to do a specific trophy or play your monthly PS Plus games. And you basically get a combination of something called points, which you can use to buy more like NFT digital collectible things, or you can actually buy games in store, or you could just redeem the points and get actual money in your PlayStation wallet for $5 and $15. You would also get points from just buying games on the PlayStation Store as well. But yeah, your collectibles would literally be a bunch of random things that you could kind of show off in some virtual thing, which I mean, when they dropped it, I just thought it was absolutely useless. But the points was not a bad idea because you would get points back for every purchase you made or every time you did one of these challenges. I never actively seeked them, but
Yeah, I always forget to open it up,
yeah,
and
because you
like
have to
because you
start.
have to enroll
Yeah,
into each one, right? Like I'll
yeah,
show
it
you.
doesn't do.
I don't know if you can
Yeah,
see
I know.
mine, but I got this two Spider-Man shoes, the Focus. Like these are
Yeah, I know. You had to actually like press start on each of the challenges. Otherwise, even if you did it and you didn't press start, it wouldn't count.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
like
this one
the
you have to press start on, and
May monthly picks, press start on.
yeah, that I
Yeah.
think that's what like really was like annoying at least for me, I sometimes take a look at the collectibles and like it's cool, but like if you forget to press start,
I don't think I ever cared about the collectibles. The points were nice to have, and I would never buy any of the games or any of the things they tell you the points. I just redeem it for the money, because then you just redeem for the money and use it for a game on sale. But yeah, it's been around for 3 years now. I don't think there was much chatter or talk about it. Most people were unaware that this thing even existed. And I think a year ago they actually changed the way the system functions. So you had to like redeem your points after a year. You couldn't hold on to them for more than a year.
yeah, they
I
like
remember
basically
that.
kind of followed the Nintendo like coins or whatever, where if you didn't use them within the year, they'd be like gone.
Yeah. You could redeem points up until November 2nd right now, and then they no longer will be working, but you can only actually earn points and digital collectibles and level up your status until July 23rd, 2025. So yeah, there goes PlayStation Stars. I do not think it will be missed.
Mm-hmm. I just don't think it was like very well introduced, and people didn't utilize it at all. So,
No.
and it also got worse, right? I think they changed how much points you would get for each purchase as
Yeah, they
well
made it
with
worse.
that
Yeah.
with that terms of agreement change.
Yeah. Lastly, we have word on the street that Sony is planning a state of play for June, kind of around Summer Games Fest. We did get earlier reporting several months ago about how internally Sony were discussing if they wanted to do a state of play or showcase. The difference being state of play is usually they're smaller, kind of bite-sized event that would be like maybe 45 minutes long to an hour long. Sometimes it would just be indie games. Sometimes it would be, for a specific game or a combination of things. And they've had some very good state of plays in the past. And the showcase is kind of the big, hour and a half, 2 hour event where they show you a bunch of stuff. I mean, we've only ever had, I think maybe, I want to say 3 or 4 showcases since the PS5 has actually come out. And sometimes they don't even do them every year. So I think they were discussing internally what they wanted to do, and I get it. Yeah, but this is coming from Jeff Grubb, of course, from Giant Bomb, which recently has gone independent. Yeah, so we'll see. They have done. They usually don't do their state of plays or showcases in conjunction with Summer Games Fest like Xbox does. Like Xbox showcases an actual Summer Games Fest event. It happens usually the Sunday after the opening night. Um, but they do it kind of. But Sony does it kind of within the same time frame, either like a week before, or like a week or two after. So we'll see, man. Are you excited for a Sony State of Play?
Yeah, I really want to see more gameplay for Ghost of Yote instead of just like a theatrical trailer.
I think they're gonna have to do a State of Play. If I recall correctly, Ghost of Tsushima had a specific State of Play for it, where you saw some gameplay. It was like a 40 minutes solely Ghost of Tsushima back in
Okay.
2020. So I imagine they would do something similar to for Ghost of Yote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Marathon's going to be coming out.
Is it? Is it?
I mean, is it?
I don't know. I don't know
I
the way
guess we'll
things are
find out.
going. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll get a delay announcement. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what other games do they have? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. It's been a kind of a quiet 2 years for Sony. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Do
Compared
you
to,
do you expect anything big being
I mean,
announced?
I think if maybe it's too early to show Wolverine. Like I feel like Wolverine is a showcase event, not a state of play,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe they don't really want to bring it up until um, Ghost of Yote is out. I mean, Death Stranding is already coming. I don't really think they need any more marketing for that.
Yeah. They might show like a trailer here and there again.
Soros, I think, is a little bit too early for Soros. That's the next game from Housemarque.
But yeah, that's way too early.
I think they also said 2026 for that, but I don't know. Intergalactic Heretic Prophet, I think it's too early for that, really. Like, I don't know what you're going to show for that. So I don't know. They have games in the work, but I don't know how far out they are. This rumored God of War thing, Like, when's that coming? Whatever it is, whether it's a remake or remaster for the OG ones, I don't know what it's supposed to be, but whenever that comes out, we need to kind of get an idea. So I don't know. I imagine there'll be third-party stuff. Probably the next Resident Evil. They always show those on State of Plays or showcases. So yeah, that's all the fun Sony stuff from this week. Moving along to, of course, the publisher that everybody's been talking about, including us for the last 2-3 weeks, Nintendo. Nintendo apparently has tapped Samsung's shoulder for a partnership to make Switch 2 chips in a move that could ramp up production. I'm not really sure Nintendo has a production issue based on how well the pre-orders were, but okay. Yeah, we'll see. In addition to that, there's like other, like, I'm getting also conflicting news that maybe this has something to do with Switch 2 OLED.
Yeah, that would make sense. Samsung is known for their OLED screens, so
yeah,
wouldn't be too surprised if they were to use either them or LG for their distributor for
for their
OLED screens.
model
The processors, though, I really don't know.
Well, this is coming from Bloomberg. Nintendo has turned to Samsung to make NVIDIA-designed custom processor for the Switch 2 console in an attempt to speed up production. They want to make and sell 20 million Switch 2 units by the end of March 2026. And yeah, I don't know how Samsung would make an NVIDIA-designed custom processor for Switch 2. I don't know how that would work, but
yeah. And I don't know if you've ever used a Samsung chip. They're not. Well, if you compare them in their phones, there's a reason why the Ultra has the Snapdragon chips.
Okay.
So
does it matter to Nintendo if it means they could sell more consoles?
I mean, how are you going to do DLSS and stuff, right?
Well, they're saying it's NVIDIA designed.
But then Samsung's is manufacturing?
Yeah, it's an NVIDIA designed custom processor, but Samsung is manufacturing it. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're partnering with Samsung and NVIDIA.
Interesting. Well,
yeah,
I guess we'll see what comes out if they make that OLED console. It's probably, like you said, a ways out.
Yeah, so another Bloomberg source claimed that Samsung has pushed for OLED panels to be used should Switch 2 ever get an upgrade in the future. So maybe the OLED thing is kind of just a thought right now and not something being committed to, but maybe they're looking at a partnership for that in the future. I imagine there'll be a freaking Switch 2 OLED. I cannot imagine they won't have that. So we'll see. I'm curious to see if there's going to be different versions of the Switch 2. The the launch Switch 2 and then this post, launch like a year after Switch 2 that has slightly, if you remember the PS5, the heat sink on some of the ones that came out a year after launch were slightly smaller or something like that.
Yeah, they were slightly smaller. Like there was actually quite a few revisions of the PS5. There's ones with the smaller heat sink, and then the revised model has like kind of these grooves to help the liquid metal stay in place. Because one of the issues was the liquid metal would be, brought, if you stood it vertically, it'd be brought lower into the lower quadrant of that chip. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure with the Switch as well, like the original Switch, there was like small revisions here and there.
Yeah, I believe there was a battery life change on the
and then of course, like the big thing was that Switch that would be able to put the Switch 1 in the debugging mode so that you could so you could load pirated games onto there. So I'm sure there's going to be revisions once they start selling more units to make it more streamlined or to fix some of the production issues that they find.
Anyway, yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'm sure like all the tech savvy people online will open this thing and break it apart and find out if there are internal revisions to the Switch 2 kind of after launch and what the difference would be with the OG ones, and if you bought one 6 months after launch or a year after launch, see what the different components inside are. Because yeah, consoles always have internal revisions that don't get marketed as like different versions of the console all the time. moving along, we got confirmation that the Switch 2 supports USB mouse controls. Like, we're not talking using the Joy-Con as a mouse. You could just use a regular mouse, which is insane because Nintendo did not market this, did not mention this, did not like even bring this up. The reason why we found out this happens is because Koei Tecmo posted a video on Thursday showing gameplay footage of the Switch 2 version of Nobunaga's Ambition, Awakening Complete Edition, which I believe is one of the games that's coming out to Switch 2. I don't know if that's at launch or whatever. Yeah, they're just having like a developer commentary. They're showing the features on the Switch 2 version of this game. They're showing how like the mouse control works on the Joy-Con. And then this dude like nonchalantly just plugs in a USB mouse
And starts using it?
and keyboard and starts using it. Yeah, and just starts using it. And it's like, what? Which
I
is
wonder
just,
if
like,
it'll work
crazy.
with like a Bluetooth dongle then. Like a
Well,
wireless
that's, I think,
keyboard.
what it is. It's a USB, like a wireless.
Oh, okay.
I think
I
that's
was
what it
thinking
is.
wired when you were saying that.
No.
It's a
It's
wireless. Okay.
Yeah. And apparently you could connect to keyboard as well, but the question is just like, which games actually even have that functionality, right? So, yeah, I don't know why this was never marketed. But maybe Nintendo just wants you to use their Joy-Con, but like it's kind of weird to add this functionality and then not market it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the first thing I'm going to try is I'm going to try and plug in a USB like webcam to see if it'll work.
Yeah. That's what we're going to do. We're going to play Mario Party the day it comes out like that.
Yeah.
Just beside each other. We're going to have the cameras on. Yeah. Lots of stuff. We also got news that Mario Kart World was actually originally intended for the Switch 1, but it was really hard to get it to work on. And that is why it's a Switch 2 exclusive. Yeah, this is from Kenta Sato, Mario Kart World's programming director, revealed that the next Mario Kart game was originally planned for release on the Nintendo Switch before development transitioned to the Nintendo Switch 2 in 2020. So this thing has been in development
5 years?
plus it's been developed 5 years on the Switch 2 apparently, but they started development before that.
Holy.
Which kind of explains why we haven't had a Mario Kart in forever.
Yeah.
It just probably just dragged on, and then eventually the scope changed, and they're like, yeah, we'll just go a whole console generation without a new Mario Kart. We'll just move on to the next one. Yeah, development of Mario Kart World began around the time Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was released on Nintendo Switch.
That's insane.
So, yeah, that is quite crazy. Yeah, they're saying that it was dropping below 30 frames in some cases, and
yeah, so it was I'm sure Nintendo knew that they were very hardware limited. It's just they were not ready to launch a Switch 2 yet.
I think, yeah, probably they just pushed the goalpost and said, hey, you know what, we might as well make this a Switch 2 game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we'll see if it lives up to the next gen 110 Canadian dollar price tag that it's flaunting. Shigeru Miyamoto finally explains why Nintendo redesigned Donkey Kong. I don't care what this article says, Durwin. I'm just going to say whatever your reason was for designing Donkey Kong.
Undo it.
Undo it. Like, honestly, undo it. He looks so stupid. Yeah, I just read this. I'm like, I'm going to add this to the show notes, but like, they wanted to make the character more expressive. That's it. Like,
this is the only reason. Oh my god.
Yeah.
They should have made him into waifu.
Yeah. Apparently, Diddy Kong has also been. We haven't seen Diddy Kong, but Diddy Kong's also been redesigned.
Oh, he must show up in the
probably in
the Donkey Kong game. Bonanza. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I just don't think they. I don't think they got that one right.
Yeah, and they did them dirty.
We're getting reports that Nintendo will be attending Gamescom in 2025, which is pretty crazy for Nintendo to attend any event besides their own kind of thing. So that's pretty cool. They skipped last year's event, and I don't know how many events they've skipped before that.
I wonder if it's because they're getting more third-party support. so they can afford to show off more of just like these third-party titles there. And then
Yeah.
I still don't
So
think they'll be announcing like first-party games at these games cons or anything like that.
yeah,
You
I don't
think?
know. I mean, I'm not sure. I wouldn't have even bet on them ever showing up to anything like Summer Games Fest or Game Awards or Gamescom ever, and showing their stuff off. They've been kind of independent, doing their own thing for a while now, and they just do their Nintendo Direct, and their indie world showcases or whatever they call them. I think they used to call them Nintendies or something. I don't think they call them that anymore. But yeah, I mean, cool. I don't know. Are they just going to be there physically and have like booths? Are they going to actually have announcements at the thing? Maybe it's a marketing push.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you're right. I think the idea that a lot of this third party stuff is now coming to Nintendo because they've kind of caught up with the industry standards for performance and raw power on your device. That, yeah, maybe they feel compelled to kind of appeal to third parties. Apparently, the Yakuza 0 version, or Nintendo Switch 2 version of Yakuza 0 has new director cutscenes which give a sense of closure that the voice cast really like, which is interesting. I wonder, does that mean we are going to get this version on PS5 and Xbox as well, or is this only a Switch 2 version? So I don't know. I mean, I think we'll find out soon enough. Same with that Elden Ring version that's for Switch 2 that had some exclusive stuff on it.
That one was confirmed to come to PS5 though. PS5 and
Was
yeah,
it?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Are you going to play Yakuza 0 on your Switch 2, Durwin, when it comes out?
No, man. I think we're both on the we're both in agreement that the Switch 2 will exclusively just play Nintendo first party games, right?
Yeah, I mean, okay,
Unless I
the
get a
press.
game on sale, like a ridiculous sale. That then yeah,
Yeah, I
but
agree. My only reason otherwise to play it would be to play it handheld if I want to, and I have a Steam Deck now, so
man's a
don't,
Steam Deck boy now.
I don't care. I don't care right
How's
now.
your library coming along?
I'm doing this thing where like I'm like chilling out and not buying games just because they're on sale. I'm buying like one game at a time just to play it,
Yeah, yeah.
one at a time.
Have you
So
figured out how to load the Epic Game Store or still not yet?
I haven't tinkered with it yet. There's like Epic Game Store. There's like GOG. There's like another game store that you somehow get on. It's not that straightforward, and I really haven't had the chance to tinker with it. But yeah, you could do NVIDIA GeForce Now with it. You could do like
Eh.
Game Pass xCloud. Why? Not a fan.
Yeah, because you're just streaming the game.
Yeah,
You didn't buy a
if you
handheld to stream a game.
if you're playing something more powerful, that's like if
Yeah,
you're
yeah, that's
playing
the way to
a
do it. But
demanding
like,
game. Yeah.
listen, your internet won't be able to handle it anyways.
I've tried GeForce Now. It's actually pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy, but I never like kept it because I didn't really have a Steam library or like a PC library, so I wouldn't really use it for anything.
Mm-hmm.
What was I thinking? Yeah, I haven't tried the emulation stuff yet. There's a lot of like I just haven't scratched the surface with it yet, but I do intend on diving. But yeah, I'm chilling out. I'm not buying every single game that's on sale on Steam on my wish list. I'm just buying one at a time. Play it, move on to the
Playing
next.
it real safe.
Yeah. Yeah, but going back to the Switch, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't want to buy Yakuza 0. I own it for PS4, PS5. I don't want to go and buy for Switch 2 because there's new director cutscenes or whatever, but yeah. So apparently nearly 500 million Pokemon games have been sold since 1996.
Are you
How many of
surprised?
these?
I'm not surprised.
Not really. I'm not surprised at all. This is kind of crazy though. Like I wonder how much money this franchise has made. I wonder where top selling video games of all time. I wonder if we go list of best selling video games where we would see Pokemon on
I'm
the
sure it
list.
must be.
Yeah, so Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, 76 million. That would make it the holy smokes, Ark Survival Evolved is the fourth best selling game of all time with 79 million copies. That is insane. Holy smokes. I didn't know that many people played Ark. What the heck? That's psycho, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow's up there. Actually, it seems like it's the highest one up. Holy, I don't see another one here. Pokemon Gold, Silver, Crystal, but way down below at 30 mil. Just above Black Myth Wukong, actually. Yeah, that's the only one on like the top 50 or so, or anything that's sold over 28 mil. But yeah, 500 million is a lot. Too bad they can't make a good game. Imagine a Claire obscure style Pokemon game.
They would never be able to make that.
Oh yeah, just 30 people from France can, but
Yeah,
Game Freak.
I
And
don't think.
stuff, yeah.
Honestly, I don't think they really care to make it. Like,
Of course they don't. Yeah.
why would you try and change the formula of something that's been working and selling well, right?
Mm. I guess. No comment. Moving on. Pokemon ZA Game of the Year.
Sure, I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah. Moving along to the third platform holder, or soon to probably never be a platform holder at this pace, because Xbox's Hellblade 2 is officially coming to PS5 this summer with PS5 Pro enhancements. So probably going to look better on the PS5 Pro. I I mean everything, like, I don't know, everything's coming to PlayStation at this point. Like I'm just waiting for that Halo announcement, and then it's going to be all over. And I mean, the numbers are telling. All the first party exclusives that Xbox had were not enough to like bring people over. And as soon as they put their stuff on PlayStation 5, they're like the best selling publisher on Sony store. Oblivion Remastered was April's best selling game in the US. Forza Horizon 5 leaped from 42 to second best selling game in April due to the PS5 release. I mean, the numbers are telling. Like they're selling like hotcakes on Sony, and they're just gonna keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna keep going in that direction.
I wonder if it's just like the people from Sony or people that are PS5 fanboys are just kind of interested in trying it out, because Forza hasn't been on the platform ever, right? So maybe it's just like a impulse purchase of such. It'll be interesting to see what the next.
I do believe the idea that you have a Xbox exclusive game that maybe didn't come out to PlayStation right away and has come to PlayStation after a year or two might be like an enticing factor to hop onto a game. I do believe that. Yeah, so I'm not sure if this kind of craze every time a new Xbox game, like Sea of Thieves when that dropped last year, that was like the most pre-ordered game for that month or whatever. Or any of these other games, every time they drop on PlayStation, immediately like they rocket up the charts, and people want to play them. I'm not sure if that craze is going to stop once everything starts coming day and date to PlayStation.
Yeah.
Like
it might
just
not.
There's no more appeal of like wanting what you can't have anymore. Yeah, so I do want to kind of take just a detour a little bit, because this is Hellblade 2, and kind of talk about my experience this console generation. So like I used to be an Xbox person back in the 360 console generation, which I don't regret, but I did feel like I missed out a lot of PS3 stuff. And I was a PS2 person originally, but the PS3 was just too expensive that I could never like afford it as like a kid in like, what was I, in junior high when it came out, the PS3. Actually, I was probably still in elementary. I was like going to junior high the next year. So yeah, I couldn't go and tell my dad, go buy me this $600 console or whatever. I know the prices dropped later on, but yeah, I hopped onto the 360 and I was there for the whole console generation. So I felt like I missed out a lot on PS3 stuff. So I went back with the PS4, and of course we know the notorious like Xbox One generation that was just brutal for having anything exclusive. So naturally the next progression was PS5, but Game Pass, I did always keep my eye out on Game Pass, and I'm like, dude, this thing is like really good, right? And so I just tried to like get into Game Pass at the time, like, but I couldn't find a way because I didn't have a gaming PC, so I couldn't play PC Game Pass. I would like try to play some of the lesser games on my like regular PC or laptop, and it just wasn't working. I tried to like, and that wasn't like working. I didn't really like it. And then I eventually just like said, okay, I'll buy Series S. And I bought the Series S and I really enjoyed it. And then I just like, I was like, okay, I'm just going to commit to Xbox. I want to be back into the ecosystem. So I bought an Xbox Series X. Now, there was one thing also that happened that had me wanting to buy an Xbox in the back of my mind as soon as launch happened. And that was, I saw the trailer for Hellblade 2 at 2019 Game Awards. I didn't know what Hellblade 1 was. I've never seen the game before. I didn't know anything about it. I saw the trailer on, and Hellblade 2 was the first Xbox Series X game announced. 2019 Summer Games, or not Summer Games Fest, it was the Game Awards, right? So the year before the console launch, they showed the trailer. I was like, oh my God, this game looks amazing. I want to play it. And I'm like, oh, it's a number 2. Let me play the first. I played the first Hellblade and I instantly fell in love with Hellblade. And I was like, I cannot wait for this second game. And I waited a long time. And I bought a Series X and, you know, the Game Pass that I mentioned, I wanted to get into that. But then I also wanted to play Hellblade because I knew it was going to be an Xbox exclusive. And I was like, there's no way I cannot not play this game. I bought a Series X and I waited a long time for Hellblade 2. The first Xbox Series X game ever announced took 5 years, 4.5 years to come out after it was first announced. May 2024, last year, when it finally came out. And I was waiting and I was waiting and I was waiting. And the crazy thing is that Xbox changed their whole kind of strategy and went third party before Hellblade even came out. So by the time Hellblade came out, I was fully aware. I was like, this game is going to come to PS5 in the future. And I probably could have skipped out on buying an Xbox altogether. But it's here now, a year after it came out. It's going to come sometime this summer. I'm probably going to actually buy it again on PS5 and play it on PS5.
I was going to
probably
ask if you were going to play it again.
Am. I really, really... Well, I played it when I played it on Xbox. I didn't 100% it because I was like, I'll just get the platinum on PS5. No need to 100% it on Xbox.
So you knew that.
In my heart, in my mind, the original, after like in the beginning of 2024 when, you know, Xbox was having all their shenanigans about putting, you know, Sea of Thieves and Pentiment and what was the other game? The one from Tango, Hi-Fi Rush. And there was a third game, Grounded. Yeah, when they put those on PlayStation, I knew the writing was on the wall then. Like 2024 last year, I was like, oh, dude, these guys are not going to stop. They're going to put everything. There's no way. They're just testing the waters. They're gone. They're going to go third party. So I knew when Hellblade 2 came out, I'm like, Hellblade 2 is coming out for PS5. So it's kind of funny. Like I felt so compelled to buy an Xbox after that trailer, even though like I had no intention on like having all the platforms. Like, and at the end of the day, it's not like I regret buying a Series X. I have played a lot of games on my Series X. I've used it mostly for Game Pass, and there's been a lot of good things on Game Pass. But it's funny that as soon as they really started pushing out those exclusives that would have made it compelling to buy a Series X or S, like Indiana Jones or like Avowed or like, you know, any of these games that have been coming out the last few months, the games only started coming out after they changed their policy. And it's like, hey, you don't need it anymore because everything's gonna, you know, with Doom the Dark Ages being out day and date. Like, you remember when they first bought Bethesda in 2021 and there was like, oh, dude, like I need my Bethesda. I remember my brother's Xbox kind of platform only. And he was like, yeah, dude, like Bethesda games. He loves Bethesda games. He's like, they're coming to Xbox. Like there's no way I'm going to be on anything else. But now everything is everywhere. So yeah, I thought it was funny. I really hope there's a physical for this game. Xbox has a bad track record for releasing physicals, especially for this console generation, and they really seem to just be going away from it, especially getting rid of the disc drives on the kind of mid console generation Series X refresh. So it kind of sucks. I wouldn't hold my breath for it, but I mean, I know Hi-Fi Rush is getting like, or already got physical, but it's not even through Xbox. It's through limited run games, which is insanity. So I really hope Hellblade 2 gets a physical, but we'll see. Sorry, I stuck on that point too much, but it was very close to heart. It kind of described a lot. Yeah, Hellblade 2 is probably my most anticipated game for a long time, aside from maybe God of War Ragnarok and Elden Ring. But it didn't really hit the mark either when it came out. It's kind of bittersweet. Like, I think I overhyped it in my head at the end of the day, but I still love that game. Very, very dear to my heart. Okay, so Xbox and Antstream Arcade have launched a new retro classic service on Game Pass, which you could actually access now. You could go on Game Pass and download this retro classics.
What do
It
they
lets you
have on
play.
there? Do you know?
Bro, these are like some old games from like the 80s.
Bridge. Do you want to play Bridge on your Xbox
Yeah,
Series
these are from like
X?
these are from the 80s, bro.
Jeez.
It's a Retro Classics app. I don't know where else you could get this app. It's available on it's available on Xbox, but I'm pretty sure this app is available on like PC. And apparently, to commemorate the partnership, Xbox Game Pass members can also access a limited time offer, which lets them sign up for the full Antstream Arcade catalog for $10 for their first year. Offer ends June 4th.
I would not pay $10 for these.
These are Atari 2600 games mostly. Almost all. There's some
PC DOS, Amiga.
Yeah, these are almost entirely Atari 2600.
There's one SNES and there's one PlayStation game. It looks like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The place? There's a Mega CD, Sega CD game. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's the same. It's the same game too. The Adventures of Willie Beamish on Amiga or Mega CD, Sega CD.
Yeah, Mech Warrior 2 on PlayStation, and Mech Warrior on SNES.
It's funny.
Yeah, I played on an Atari 2600 back in the day when I was a kid. Some family friends had one. I don't think it was. I can't remember. It was the Atari 2600 or if it was the. No, it wouldn't have been that. That would be too old. It would be the next one. Is it the 5200? I do remember it like this is 1977 to 1982, 92. Yeah, 1982. I don't know. No, it would have been the Atari 7800 that I probably played on. That makes more sense. Yeah, 86 to 92. That makes more sense. Anyway, no, I'm not really interested. But if you are an old head, you're in luck. Apparently, Microsoft Store has been reportedly testing Steam integration. This isn't confirmed yet. I think somebody just saw, those people, those data miners that just see something somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised at all. I think Xbox has already mentioned going in this direction. They want to bring Game Pass everywhere, and I think they're willing to play with all the other publishers or platforms and bring their stuff to an Xbox console.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If it means they could bring Game Pass everywhere, so I'm not surprised. I think the next there's rumors that this next Xbox console is literally just going to be kind of a PC in a console form factor to have on your TV, and you'll be able to access like Epic Game Store, Steam, and you'll just be playing the PC Game Pass on it or whatever. Which might make it pretty cool because then it's really not just an Xbox thing. You're just maybe you could emulate on it and do a bunch of stuff on it. It'll almost be like kind of like some of these handheld PCs, like the Lenovo Legion Go and the Steam Deck or whatever, kind of branded by Microsoft and docked on a TV. And their mobile game store launcher, which has been kind of stopped by Apple, or stymied is the word that they used, whatever that means. Yeah, so Microsoft is trying to do the whole Epic thing, and they want to get their like Xbox game launcher on an Apple device, which Apple looks like they've blocked.
But you can do the Game Pass streaming, though.
I don't think you can. Isn't that a thing? You can't do some.
Oh, it's on a
Xbox
browser. Things. It technically just opens up the browser, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you can't. There's no. This has already been like a conversation like from before. You can't really use xCloud as like on a native app on your phone.
So it's just like opens up a browser kind of deal.
Yeah,
it's a work.
You can't even like. I'm pretty sure you can't even buy games on your Xbox apps on your like on your phone. Like your Xbox app doesn't give you the ability to like buy a game, which the
PS app you
Sony
can.
one does. So I'm wondering if Sony was always willing to be taking a hit for people to buy games on their phone rather than buying them on their PlayStation. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I don't
Because
know.
come to think of it now, I have bought a few games just like browsing on my phone and then downloading remotely. But yeah, I think this is kind of following Epic's legal win. Yeah, they want to just basically get a mobile store on an Apple device, which I don't know if they have one on an Android device, but maybe you would know better.
I don't. I mean, I don't have my phone
Yeah.
anymore, so my Android phone, that is.
Yeah, my dumbass didn't know stymie meant prevent or hinder the process of. I knew what it meant, but I didn't know how to like pronounce it or use it properly. So we'll see what comes out of that. Avowed's director has quit Obsidian for Netflix games of all places. Avowed's director Kerry Patel is joining Netflix Night School Studio, which I believe is the studio behind Oxenfree and Oxenfree 2 Lost Signal, which, if I recall correctly, we did announce, well, not announce, but we did mention in an episode several weeks ago that a lot of that development studio got laid off last year, or this year it was. Yeah, so kind of interesting choice. I don't know why she would. She's previously was the narrative designer on Pillars of Eternity and Outer Worlds. Interesting that she's leaving Obsidian to join Netflix. Doesn't seem like the right choice. I mean, maybe they're paying her big bucks. Yeah, thoughts on this? I don't know. You played Avowed more than I did. I kind of played it for a bit and forgot about it even existing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that changes too many things.
Years later, the FTC has finally dropped its case against Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal. It's done. I think we mentioned 2 weeks ago that their appeal was shut down by some U.S. court, and now it looks like they finally dropped it and moved on.
Mm-hmm.
So congratulations, Xbox. They win. They got the Call of Duty. They get to make the Call of Duty money.
Yeah.
Maybe
At
they'll get
what
to trade off like
cost?
yeah, our souls. Moving on. That's kind of it for Xbox. We'll look into some of the multi-platform news that we've got, which I probably should have started the show with this because I think this was the most interesting story this week. Randy Pitchford made some comments online. Okay, so this guy, he's the guy in charge of Gearbox Entertainment that is set to release Borderlands 4 in a few months now. Fan Online basically told him, please don't make this game $80. It's going to be very hard to buy for some of us. Please think about the fans, blah, 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 blah. Now, Borderlands 4 has not announced that it was going to be $80 anyway. There's no pricing announced for this game yet. It wasn't even announced that they were going to be $80 anyway.
Dude, it's going to be an $80 game.
This guy responds, not my call, which, okay, fine. It is really technically not his call. He is in charge of Gearbox, but they're not self-publishing. Like, they are owned by Take-Two, and Take-Two is going to be the one publishing, so they decide what the cost is going to be, or the price tag on this game is going to be. So sure, not my call, okay. But then proceeded to like gaslight this fan online by saying, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. My local game store had Starflight for Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991 when I was just out of high school working minimum wage at an ice cream parlor in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen. Why? Why would you even say that? Just don't even reply. Don't say anything. Like, this guy's the king of putting his foot in his mouth. Like the king of putting his foot in his mouth. Why the heck? Your game is just about to come out. Why do you want this negative publicity over saying something stupid like that? Just gaslight someone like boomer style. Yeah, back in the day, I bought a house for $40,000 and like, whatever, you kids are just lazy. Like, bro, are you serious? And the pricing for the game isn't even announced. Just all you could have said is not my call.
Yeah.
That's all he could have said.
I mean, maybe he thinks he's Claptrap. Nice little fun quips.
Dude, he's just like, that's just the like I feel sorry for the PR team that has to deal with this. The PR team that's just sitting there like pulling their hair out as this guy's tweeting. Like, take away his Twitter. Don't let him talk online. Bro, this guy, I mean,
you know what would be funny? If you quit the Trump PR team to move to
be
the to move to the
Randy Pitchford
Gearbox PR team,
team.
and then the guy does the exact same thing.
Why would you, dude? Like, your game. I don't know. Is he really confident his game is gonna be a hit?
I
'Cause
think
don't know.
so, but
Well, the Borderlands 3. I don't know. Listen, don't ask me. I don't give a damn about Borderlands. I'm not playing that game. I couldn't give a damn. I don't care. Borderlands 2, I heard was really good. Borderlands 3, I heard people were saying they didn't like it. Is that true or don't? Like, I don't know. And then apparently the movie was absolutely brutal.
well, the movie was not good. Oh, you didn't watch it?
No, I didn't. Did you?
I I attempted to watch it. I like watched it online, and I just like scrubbed through the parts because it was very very hard to watch.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
this is Kevin
So
Hart
anyway,
being Kevin Hart, and then whoever, Amy Lee Curtis
I
doing
think he
whatever
said
she's
something.
doing.
I think he said something dumb at the time too, about like, what did he say? Something about like, oh, I guess we'll just stick to making games or something. We're not good at. I don't know. Randy Pitchford. He said something else online when that movie came out.
Yeah, you should have just stuck to making games.
Do you remember this guy's like USB controversy from back in the day?
No, what was it?
Back in the days, like 2018. Okay, so yeah, okay, maybe okay. I'm gonna just read online because I don't remember exactly. No, I don't want to like speak out of turn, but so apparently in 2018, a former Gearbox lawyer, a lawyer named Wade Callender, filed a lawsuit against Pitchford. He alleged that Pitchford had left a USB drive containing sensitive Gearbox information and child pornography at medieval times in 2014. Pitchford clarified that the pornographic film on the USB drive was not child pornography and stated that he had saved the pornography for the purposes of studying a sexual act performed by a female actress that he claimed to be similar to a magic trick.
Excuse me.
Gearbox said that, dude, okay. I don't know. We're like a PG, but apparently I don't like. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna say it. Apparently, it was like a video of a girl squirting or something like that.
Dude, whose USB is worse, Hideo Kojima's or Randy Pitchford's?
Oh my god. Anyway, this kind of got dropped after a while, some misunderstanding or something like that. But yeah, I can't remember exactly what was on the USB, but it was a young woman. I don't think it was actually child pornography, but like he was studying it or something because he was
For research.
for
Gotcha.
research. Okay. Yeah. Oh my god. Um. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Enough Randy Pitchford. I hope the game sells okay, just for the Gearbox developers. Embracer Group, which is another freaking catastrophe of the last 5 years. They've spun off they've shaked up their gaming division and they've rebranded the Lord of the Rings group, and they called them Fellowship Entertainment. This originally was called Coffee Stain, and they're calling it Fellowship Entertainment, but it actually includes more than just like Lord of the Rings IPs. It covers Tomb Raider, Kingdom Come Deliverance, and Lord of the Rings stuff. Yeah, I mean, Embracer Group notoriously bought up a bunch of publishers and developers in the early 2020s, late 2010s, like 5 years ago, sort of thing. Now, they were banking on some deal with Saudi Arabia that fell through. When the deal fell through, they were kind of spiraling downwards. They ended up breaking up into like multiple companies, and now they're just kind of spinning things off just to kind of make more money and stay afloat. Yeah, so Fellowship Entertainment includes developers such as 4A Games, Aspire Media, which what did Aspire do? Crazy Labs, Crystal Dynamics, which if you recall was previously a Square Enix studio, but Square Enix, I believe, a couple years ago got rid of all their North American studios, and they sold them off to Embracer Group. Yeah, they're best known for like Tomb Raider and stuff like that. Wasn't Crystal Dynamics the one that made the Marvel's Avengers game in 2020? Do you remember that game?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
It's closed down
Yeah,
now.
so they made all the recent Tomb Raiders, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. They're actually co-developing Crystal Perfect Dark with Xbox Game Studios, and they're working on an untitled Tomb Raider game right now. But Aspire, wasn't that the team that was originally supposed to do that KOTOR remake or something for PlayStation? Yeah, the development moved to another studio. Anyway, let me see who else. What else are there here? Yeah, Eidos Montreal as well. That's also an ex Square Enix team. Tripwire Interactive, isn't that THQ Nordic as well? Tripwire Interactive, what did they used to do? And Warhorse Studios, I believe, is the one that Tripwire Chivalry? No, Chivalry is a Canadian company. Tripwire is Killing Floor, yeah. And the Warhorse Studios is what's their face there? Kingdom Come. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what this is gonna mean for Embracer, like business wise, but lots of good studios in there, so I hope they stay afloat. Fortnite is now back on the App Store, confirmed. There was a little bit of a spat there last week after they won the court case. We weren't sure what was going to happen, but Apple was kind of stalling, but now it's back. I believe the court told them that they can't stall anymore and just put it back on. So, are you going to be playing Fortnite on your phone there, Derwin?
Nope. Screw Fortnite. Unless AI Darth Vader. But I think they're also, I think the family for the original guy that did the voice of Darth Vader is suing.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
They're probably
Forget his name.
They're getting rid of that if they haven't already, I think.
Who is it? James Earl Jones. I think the family of him is suing. Oh no, the SAG-AFTRA has filed an unfair labor practice charge.
I think that was for because like it's AI for voice actors.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, not the family. It was
No.
Yeah.
We are getting a new Elden Ring movie from A24 nonetheless, and being directed by Ex Machina director Alex Garland. Let's freaking go. This is going to be great. And George R. R. Martin will serve as a producer on the film. Looking good, actually. I have high hopes for this.
Yeah, we'll have to watch it opening night as well, or opening weekend.
Yeah, 100%. I wonder when this is actually going to come out. But yeah, it is. Do we have a date?
Probably not. This is like probably really early.
Way out. Yeah, this is going to be way out. I think.
Yeah, probably there's no casting or anything yet either.
Yeah, this is the second. I mean, I don't even know how they're going to cast these freaking bosses, really, because they're the main characters. Like, if you played Elden Ring, like, the bosses that you fight are the main characters of the story. The story is about them. Your guy's just a no-name, right? So it wouldn't make sense to kind of... I feel like it would be a movie about the events that take place before the actual game. But we'll see. This is the second video game adaptation that's in development at A24, actually. The other one is the Kojima Productions. I believe it's is it the Death Stranding movie or
Death Stranding movie? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's by the director of a Quiet Place, Day One. Yeah, so A24 has a reputation of making some solid films. So I have high hopes for that. And with you know, I don't know how I feel about Alex Garland. I'm not sure what else. I mean, Ex Machina is a great movie, but I'm curious to see what else he's been on. Oh, this guy co-wrote the game Enslaved Odyssey to the West back in 2010, which is, speaking of Hellblade 2 earlier in the show, is a Ninja Theory game. Oh, geez, never mind. Civil War 2024. I don't know. Anyway, moving along. I don't know. Did you hear about this? Intel announces new Arc Pro graphics cards.
Yeah, they're business grade cards. They're not for gaming.
No.
They're for running AI models and putting into small form factor machines. So
they're not going to be any good for any.
They're going to be good for what you want them to do if you're a business, but they're not for gaming.
There's no chance of them being like an alternative, a cheaper alternative
No.
for graphics
I
cards.
mean,
Okay.
Intel will hopefully continue making some uh, gaming video cards, but yeah, this one's specifically more for businesses, and they're like different drivers, so you definitely don't want them to be gaming. You don't want to be gaming
Fair
on
enough.
them.
Fair enough. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't know much about it, so I thought I'd bring it up with you. Lies of P expansion previews are up. There is a upcoming Lies of P expansion which is coming out sometime this summer. There's not a announced date yet. I believe it's called Lies of P Overture.
Yeah, I think
Which
so.
was shown. Yeah. So we don't have a release date just yet, but people got some hands-on. The expansion will allow players to replay old bosses and introduces a new boss rush mode. It'll be getting difficulty options to make the Souls-like more accessible. And yeah. And the director said Bloodborne comparisons are an honor and our motivation. So good for them. Lies of P, from what I've heard, I only kind of played the first few hours of it, but from what I've heard, excellent game, especially if you're into Souls likes. Probably one of the better Souls likes that is not kind of developed by From Software themselves.
And you don't
So
have to smash your head in with the difficulty setting now.
So we got some news about how well Doom the Dark Ages has been doing. We did mention last episode that it just came out and I had tried it, played the first level. It's saying or Bethesda's saying it's id Software's biggest launch ever. It's claiming that it's 7 times faster than Doom Eternal. It's reached 3 million players 7 times faster than Doom Eternal. So, okay, that's a stat, but then also its Steam player count is the lowest of the reboot trilogy compared to the 2016 Doom and Doom Eternal. It's sitting at 31,000, where 2016's Dooms was 44,000 concurrent players and Doom Eternal was 104,000. So I know what Steam charts say your peak concurrent player count is may not be telling of the full story, but I just thought I'd want to point out that this, on face value, apparently conflicting data saying that it's the best-selling Doom game 7 times faster than Eternal, whereas it has a third of its concurrent player count all time.
Yeah. It's on Game Pass though, right? So
that, I think that's the explanation there, that where the gap is, because I don't know. Well, they're saying sales or players. They're calling it 3 million players. So yeah, maybe a lot of those players are in Game Pass, and it makes sense if it's on Game Pass. Why would you go if you could play it on PC Game Pass instead of buying it on Steam, or if you could play it on Xbox Game Pass instead of just outright buying it on something else? Your numbers will climb up but not show up on the Steam charts. We got some news about Cyberpunk 2077 sequel from the game creator, and he's saying it features a second city that feels like a Chicago gone wrong. I feel like it's a little bit maybe too early to be talking about Cyberpunk 2077 sequel. I do know CD Projekt Red is apparently working on multiple projects concurrently, aside from Witcher 4, including a Cyberpunk sequel and a Witcher 1 remake, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, man. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the concept, right? Like,
yeah.
what was the first one set in?
Whatever it was, Night City. Isn't that supposed to be like in LA?
Yeah, LA. So Chicago might be
I
a
don't know.
different
Maybe I
take.
should.
Detroit.
Detroit
They
gone
already have
wrong.
that. It's called Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit. Yeah, we already have Chicago gone wrong. It's called Detroit. Yeah. Yeah, maybe San Francisco. Actually, I think Night City's based on San Francisco, not LA. I don't know, man. I just, aside from this, maybe CD Projekt Red, knowing how notoriously bad Cyberpunk came out and how it took 3 years to fix, really. That game didn't get really fixed until that Phantom Liberty DLC came out in 2023 of September. 3 years after the game came out, it was finally kind of where they wanted it to be. Maybe we should chill out about talking about Cyberpunk 2 and The Witcher 4 and The Witcher remake all concurrently. But we'll see. Good news for you, Durwin. Stellar Blade 2 could be releasing sooner than expected, actually as early as 2026. 3 years after the first one came out. Or no, the first one came out in 2024. 2 years after the first one came out. Just dropped on PC. So, hey, buddy, you might be in luck. You
It's
might
not
get to play
out
these
yet,
games.
right? June. It's June, right?
June
Yeah.
something in
Yeah.
PC, yeah. So,
yeah, I mean, I'll have to play the first one and I'll see if I'm hyped for the second.
well, I think you're going to be hyped if you play on PC. For all the wrong reasons, brother. Ubisoft is looking at giving Rayman a AAA reveal after last year's exploration phases, all quote unquote from Eurogamer. Yeah, they might be bringing Rayman back, and I think it's from the studio that worked on the what's that game? The one that they did with Nintendo.
Rabbids.
Yeah. That's what I'm reading, even though keep in mind that the last Rayman game is not actually from that studio. It's from the studio that did Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which got disbanded, if you know, I think earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
And all that studio got disbanded and the developers got sent to different places. So we were kind of saying, okay, Rayman's dead. And any Prince of Persia Lost Crown sequel. Yeah, so we'll see. Have you played Rayman Legends or Origins?
Nope.
I played one and I can't remember which one it was, but really fun platformers. I don't know if it was Legends or Origins. It was Rayman Legends, yes. 2013. Yeah.
I played some of the Rabbids games.
Have you tried those Mario plus Rabbids games?
I think so. I can't remember which one I played. There was a few of them and I honestly a call kind of looks the same.
Hideo Kojima reveals that his next espionage game, Fizzant, is 5 to 6 years away. This isn't news to me. I don't know what people were thinking. Death Stranding is just coming out now. And he also has OD in between Death Stranding and Fizzant. So I don't know what people were thinking and why they, if they thought it would come out sooner. I don't think this is much of a surprise. But the surprising thing is Kojima didn't mention OD at all in this conversation because the interview they were suspecting because the interview is part of, the publishing deal with Sony and Death Stranding 2. So he just kind of pretended OD didn't exist, even though he's doing that in cooperation.
Because that one's a
Xbox
Microsoft one, right?
Yeah.
That's probably why.
Final Fantasy 11 was going to shut down last year, but fans kept it alive, director says. This is from Video Games Chronicle. The MMO is still getting updates 23 years later.
Yeah,
this,
that's insane.
Durwin, is not Final Fantasy 14 that you associate with Final Fantasy MMO. No. This is the MMO that was originally released on the PS2 and PC in Japan in 2002. I did not know this thing was still alive. The game it got a 360 port in 2006. The servers for the 360 and the PS2 versions ended in 2016, but the PC version remains playable to this day. That's crazy, dude.
There must be in-game transactions that's keeping it alive. There's no way otherwise.
Well, they were saying they were going to end it, but apparently fans kind of rallied and said it's had a monthly subscription fee of $11.95 since 2002.
Inflation proof, baby.
Well, he's basically just saying people just continue to log in and pay money. So yeah, you're right.
So why would you cancel it?
Can I play this thing on the Steam Deck?
Probably.
Literally,
dude, it's for You're gonna look right now. What happened to you buying games selectively?
I'm not buying it. I just want to see it exist. I'm not playing Final Fantasy 11. Yeah, that's crazy. Isn't that nuts?
That's pretty nuts.
Let me search, dude. Final. How do you write 11? XI. I don't see it here. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, I do see it here.
Do you? I don't think I have Steam on my iPad.
Yeah, dude, it still exists. That's crazy.
How much is the game's free, right?
Yeah, Final Fantasy
but just
XI requires
you have
a monthly subscription fee to play. Registered the game for the first time will grant 30 days of free play. No, it's actually
it's only $10. It's $10. Seekers Edition. Oh no, $12.86.
$12.86. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
It's not Steam Deck compatible, unfortunately.
Yeah, unsupported.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Crazy.
Last little tidbit for this week. There is a new Prestige physical games label editions promise to reinvent what it means to collect games. This is from a what do you call it? Kind of a collectible maker called Lost in Cult. So they usually just make like art books or stuff like that, or other kind of accessories for a game, vinyl and stuff like that. They have a really cool Animal Well set coming along, but they've just announced that they're actually going to start making physical, like collector's editions of games. And geez, bro, they look amazing. So the first 3 games, it's very limited. I think they're saying only 15,000 or 1,500 copies. There's
Well, they're in
Immortality.
euros too. This is
Yeah,
hella expensive though.
yeah, Immortality, The Excavation of Hobbes, Borrow, and Thank Goodness You're Here. Uh, very limited. I'm surprised I could still pre-order, to be honest with you. I thought they would be sold out with that. But really cool stuff, man. I don't know if you look at the packages. I haven't seen collector's editions that look like this
Yeah, they look
before.
pretty cool.
Yeah, they look pretty cool, especially like the Immortality one with the poster. And if you look at some of the other stuff they have, like the Animal Well stuff looks crazy, dude. Like I really want to get this art book for Animal Well, considering I'm just kind of on a high from playing that game. But good luck to them. I hope they keep it up.
Do
That is
it.
it.
It's only
for-
125 euros for the deluxe edition.
For our Animal Well, yeah, I was kind of looking more at the single art book that was like for, I think,
Standard.
the standard art book that was.
That's
for
still 75 euros. That's without shipping.
No, I see one for 50 euros.
Oh, does this one have? That must have the game or something.
The 75 euro one is the one that comes with the
Soundtrack.
Really cool. I hope you could buy them from like a Canadian retailer, not just buying them from.
Doubt it, dude.
Well, you never know. They might put them on Amazon or something. Anyway, that is it for Sunday, May 25th. Like we said at the top of the show, we will leave what we've been playing and our special segment to a separate episode. And that is going to be our Claire Obscure Expedition 33 spoiler cast. So stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed the show. We're going to reconvene next weekend for the Summer Games Fest special episode, predictions episode. Let's go. We're going to talk everything Summer Games Fest and Xbox Showcase and whatever else has been announced for Summer Games Fest. I don't know if we have anything yet from EA or Ubisoft officially, but we'll discuss what we think about those as well. Yeah. And then we'll, the week after that, we'll do our kind of reactions to the whole thing as well as our Switch 2 review.
Yeah, there'll be back-to-back episodes.
It's
so lots to pay
next
attention
2-3
to.
weeks. Yeah. Much more interesting than this episode. Sorry if it was a bore. Yeah, we have confirmation of Summer Games Fest 3 p.m. Mountain Time on June 6th. That's a Friday, and then 10 or 11 a.m. Pacific Time on June 8th. Oh my God, Durwin. I just freaking forgot something. Let me tune in right now. Oh, dude, this is crazy. Holy smokes. Oh, somebody's calling me. It's GameStop. We're still live.
Oh, you're gonna get canceled.
Hi, Mohammed speaking.
Hi, Mohammed. This is Daphne from EB Games Sunridge. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm just calling to remind you of your Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order released on June 5th.
Yeah.
We are doing a late night release on Wednesday, June 4th from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Oh, so we could get them as early as 10 p.m.?
Yes.
We don't have to wait till like midnight?
No. If you have to watch a kid or anything, like that's totally understandable.
Okay. And then would we be waiting outside the mall, or would we be waiting inside?
I'm not 100% sure how it's going to work yet, but generally we get everyone to line up outside of the mall, the main entrance to the left of Shoppers, and
Nice.
then we'll either let a few groups in at a time, or we'll just have you all lined up from the mall entrance.
Okay.
To the store.
Okay. Sweet. All right.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Thanks for the call.
No problem.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
And there you heard it. You heard it here first. 10 p.m.
I'm crazy that they called me while we were recording. No, I was freaking out because I totally forgot it's the last day of Serie A, which is the Premier Italian Soccer League. And on Friday, it was kind of already decided who won the league. Napoli won the league. They had the Napoli-Inter game playing simultaneously. And both won, but Napoli had more points anyway. So Inter needed a win and Napoli to draw points. But I was looking at the relegation games, and that's kind of what I was more interested in, because the bottom three teams of any league kind of get kicked out of the league. That's what kind of happens in the soccer world. Like, it's not like NBA or like NHL or whatever, where if you're bottom of the league, you just get a better draft pick. No. There's real consequences to being bottom of the league. You get kicked out, and like the teams from the lower league below you move up. So usually the last day, it's just a bloodbath of these teams fighting over like 2-3 points just not to get relegated. And there's also crazy like Champions League race. But anyway, that is for a different type of podcast. Maybe I should start a Serie A podcast. All right. Stay tuned, and we'll record the next episode. Take care, guys, and remember to follow us at the Slow Run Cast, and like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, YouTube, Apple, or Spotify. Thanks for joining.